And there's always ways around things too. I also understand that because I did it a long time. But when this situation, I mean, chickens and you got officer, like really?
Yeah,
I'm not.
You said I was a police officer for 6 years up in Oregon before I went to law school. So just to give you the information, this isn't a discussion saying that this is what we're going to do, but you're a police officer.
I want to know how you guys can legally get access on my land if I post at that gate and say nope, I have right to bear firearms, I have right to protect my property.
Right.
What would happen?
So we have two different ways that we can do it. One, we can do an inspection and abatement warrant that would probably cover a larger area. It wouldn't just be individual house. This is a unique thing to food and agriculture and disease prevention. We also have the authority, the special investigators for CDFA also have the authority to write a specific search warrant, a traditional search warrant for a house to affect disease eradication.
Now, so that type of warrant though, because you're talking like a judge or magistrate, 24/7 phone judge.
Both are judge and magistrate.
I message over what I want done, they sign it off.
Correct.
But now, we have nothing, are you saying under your U.S. code, that would give the judge legal authority to sign this off?
Yes.
And go against my search and seizure Fourth Amendment rights for my property.
So the search warrant, the search warrant is an exception to your Fourth Amendment rights. So if you get a search warrant, the Fourth Amendment protects you from unlawful search and seizure, unless supported by probable cause.
Okay.
So the warrant for those scenarios would be supported by probable cause and signed off by a judge.
Okay.
So then that warrant would authorize us to go in and remove poultry and depopulate and carry out the needs of the regional quarantine or individual quarantine.
Now backing up on that, because we also have something called, and I don't know if you've ever heard Frank's hearing, motion to traverse. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Are you saying to challenge the...
Yes, challenge what you've written on your affidavit that it's actual, true, and correct. Based off of my personal situation, being it's been 5 months since I was approached and nobody's sick or dead and nobody's left. I mean, nobody's come in, nobody's come out. There is, and I like I said, and I am offering to hand you guys a few chickens for the greater good.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to comply to you.
I want to make sure that we're parsing out. I was just providing information.
No,
I'm not saying
I understand how that works
what...
with the affidavit, but I also understand on a non-criminal matter, you have a right to motion to traverse. Now,
so
once again, this gets locked up. You're big guys with money, and I'm just a little citizen living here. I mean,
in the Food and Ag Code, it's actually a misdemeanor. We can do administrative penalties, but it's also a misdemeanor. So that's how the criminal element would come in. And I'm not saying that we don't use that
and going
aspect.
into the misdemeanor type, because you would have to place that person under arrest, you'd have to write your PC deck on it, and then your detectives will go file it with the DA's office, if it would even be filed. And I'm working in law enforcement, you know how often one little whoopsie and somebody just goes away.
Those scenarios where the special investigators do have to go that route, they usually partner with the Rural Crimes Task Force for San Bernardino, Riverside County, to work with those teams when they have to go that route.
I mean, again, then we're talking, like you said it right there, crime. I'm not a criminal.
Well, in the Food and Ag Code, it is a crime, a misdemeanor to hinder an epidemiological investigation.
Well, I'm going to look up the codes that you sent me back. I would, because I just want to know about it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think it's more than reasonable to let you have a few. I don't see why they can't swing by and grab them. I mean, they wanted to kill everybody back in December, so hey, if I'm giving you a few, you got what you wanted.
I'm going to check to see if that's okay with the vets up in our office.
Yeah, do it. Because
if they say yes, then I'll give you a call.
Okay.
If they say no, I'll inform you on what the direction is.
What they want to do. Okay. Fair enough.
So either way, I'll give you a call and let you know. I'm not the expert.
No, but I mean, I think it's
here.
more than reasonable to do that. They wanted to populate anyway. I will even withdraw any kind of payment for that because I'm consensually offering them to you and giving to you. So I'll waive my indemnity money for those birds. I think that's more than fair. I've got 3 roosters. I think there might be 2 that are, I don't know. I haven't seen an egg and I haven't heard a crow, so I'm a little suspicious what's going on there. So I can handle that part for you, and that way you got your samples, and we're good. And I don't see why that would be.
And hopefully Andrew provided a lot of answers. He has a lot more answers than I do.
Yeah.
And
Well, the attorney end of it
Definitely
does
a lot more
help because that's what I
knowledgeable
wanted to
than I
know. Back in 03, which I did pull those court records, were you involved with that in 03 when the attorney got involved when this last outbreak happened?
No, I was.
0203.
It was 2003.
I was still an undergrad.
Okay, so you're a baby. Okay, well, anyway, there was an attorney that fought back with all these people.
Mm-hmm.
What I find very strange about, because I pulled all the, those are public record.
Yeah.
Pulled it all and looked at it all. I can't find a dispo. There is no dispo in the court system.
For the lawsuit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
couldn't
what
speak to
happened with that? I was like,
don't know.
to me, that means either it was just all dropped, or I mean, it couldn't possibly still be in lingo. I don't know. After statute of limit, did they just close it?
And the wheels of justice do not move swiftly, as I'm sure you know. So
exactly. I mean,
but
I did find that case interesting because as I reviewed those documents, and I'm like, this is the same thing they're doing here. That same bullying tactic of threatening this, threatening that.
Yeah, and
those people
I just
got
want to make
the
sure you
attorney.
understand that our discussion here was just because you were curious. I just wanted to provide the information.
No, I mean, it doesn't mean
we're
you're
not,
arresting
saying,
me or anything.
I'm not saying that that's what we're going to come back
And it
and
would
do.
look really
This is a
bad
discussion.
on the media to be like, oh, 50-year-old mommy of 4 with chickens is hauled off to Paris County, and her husband's to be at work, and now he's to pick her up in a unit. And
No,
they need sitters for the kids.
We're just having a discussion.
They're not Ubers, are they?
Huh?
Unit.
Oh, he had to send somebody to get me. He's got to be at work, so who's going to pick me up? Or you can get, my dad, Highway Patrol. We can always grab. It's, I mean, like I said, it's really unnecessary, and I am willing to comply by giving you those, and I think that's more than reasonable. I don't worry about you guys being in my backyard. I don't think you're going to steal anything. I don't have nothing you want back there. What I worry about is if what they're saying is true, and that I can't even attest to because I don't know anybody whose birds have gotten sick. But if what they're saying is true, all these visits are placing me at risk. And I will text you those pictures of the people at my door,
Sure.
including the first 2 that were both.
We have a list of pictures of everyone that works for us.
Okay, well, these
so
are very large Hispanic men, probably mid-late 30s, limited English. What in the world? And on that tape, I have it going back and forth, and I'm like, why do they keep coming to my door? And it looked to me like when they bent down, they were either like left some wrong paper, because they ended up leaving me 3 forms. 2 of those forms were the signs and symptoms, all in Spanish, which I don't read. So I was like, well, that's lovely, but okay.
Maybe they're like, oh, they're close to Mead Valley, maybe Spanish.
The quarantine order was dated or the kill order was dated November 12th. Visit was December 20th. So it was a month outdated. And then that quarantine sheet, the yellow one that's actually filled out with the person's address,